Hey guys, let's talk rage abilities. Sorry for not having a proper, intro. My bad. But I just wanted to go right into it. I think this is probably the best, most interesting change in the, update, in the rework, in the rewrite. I think it's gonna be a good change, don't get me wrong. However, there's always a however, obviously. Um, it seems like it's gonna be flawed. There's a few issues. One big issue being the current killer kits being boring or uninteresting. How are they gonna fix that? By reworking them, obviously. Don't know why I said that. Killers right now haven't got very good interesting kits. I already made a video on this, so I'm not going to go into it too much. However, I think just adding onto their kit isn't going to fix any of the actual issues they currently have. Like, for example, big issue, Unforgotten Slow is too easy to use. I don't think they're going to end up changing it though, because it'll end up changing a lot of her character. I don't know if it's they, them, whatever. I'm sorry. I don't think they'll end up changing them too much, and which is kind of a big issue in my opinion. They really need Unforgotten really needs to have Unforgotten's ability needs to be changed in order to require more skill. I think that's the biggest issue currently with Unforgotten, in my opinion. This rage killer ability, this ult basically, will just highlight the issue even more, and I don't think it'll do much good for the game if they don't rework killers. However, obviously, it's too early to tell. They've only just, well, I don't know if they're still changing the survivors. I know that they were really close to finishing. We haven't got any information on that, which is kind of why I want to make this video, so that in the future, when they do change stuff, if they do change any of it, I can call it out. And if they don't change, I can call myself out, basically. If they don't change anything, then I can call that out again. Pretty much. Currently have the issue of being too easy and having an ability which doesn't really challenge you, which doesn't really like force you to choose, force you to do really anything. So adding a rage ability, they definitely won't make this ability any different. Like, not different. They won't make the ability change up how you play with that kit, because why would they, right? That'd change their character too much. But I think they need to have these rage abilities define these characters even more than already, because the only difference between the rat and ghost is that one of them is a human, a ghost, and one of them's a rat. Like, same ability. They're not different, they're not interesting. That's the issue. So adding a rage ability would end up changing their kit even more and make them more interesting and actually give you a reason to play them, instead of what it currently is like. Of course, a lot of this comes down to just waiting for more information to come out, which is going to end up being a lot of my videos until the rework is fully, well, not fully out, but out in PTS, so I can make videos on that. I don't know what videos to make. I really don't. This is just me scraping the bottom of the barrel. I want to make a video on a beginner's guide. However, the rework is coming out and there's so much changing about it. I don't want to just make that and then have to make another video. I might actually do that, because it's not like major things are changing, so it wouldn't be that different. Another issue I thought about is that genlocking killers. I have a feeling that for the Genlocking killers, these rage abilities are going to end up uplifting their Genlocking ability, right? That isn't good. That Genlocking in general is very, very boring. However, something which kind of, it's not gonna fully counter Genlocking, right, and it still takes skill, but the great skill checks, that's gonna make Genlocking a lot harder now. Which amazing, great. I think Genlocking is generally an easy win. It's boring. I hate Genlocking. But sometimes it's a meta, right? Some people just want to win. I want to win. I'm not going to Genlock ever though, so I'm going to have to just cry on this. Genlocking is necessary. Not necessary. There's a few killers who win, obviously, but Genlocking, in order to win against a high lobby, can be necessary. But even then, if it's a high lobby, they know how to loop so that you can't kill them, which means 8 people on 3 gens, you don't really have much of a chance. And considering people can loop good with gen rushers, not much of a chance, which is another issue. Gen rushers should not be able to outrun a lunge, in my opinion. I think anyone on 6 speed should not be able to outrun a lunge, and I also think some lunges should not be as slow as they are. 3 ms, but then someone's on like 1.5 ms. Why? I don't get it. I don't think it makes much sense, which is another issue with killers. Killers are very much flawed. That was pretty quick about the Genlocking killers. If they buff their chase, easier downs, but then make Genlocking easier, etc, etc. Just bad balancing. Don't balance your killers around Genlocking because it does not work. Anyways, I was gonna talking about the killer strengths in general. I'm hoping that these updates, these rage abilities, will, instead of making the stronger killers stronger and the weaker killers not weaker, because they're gonna get stronger, but like in terms of like generally, I have a feeling that it's gonna end up making the gap between the weak and strong killers even bigger, because you're seeing how strong Slasher's ability is. Being able to throw 3 knives in the span of 15 seconds, 4 knives even, that is pretty insane, and depending on the Slasher, could wipe out an entire lobby, which, don't get me wrong, it'll require skill because of the fact that you need to be in a good position. The map will have to be open. There's a lot of variables to get the most amount of value out of it, but then I don't know how. It's just, Slashers is an obvious type of ability, right? Obviously you're gonna make it so he can throw more knives, but what are they gonna do with the other killers who are really weak? Showstopper, for example, what will they do with her? I just hope that they make good decisions. They haven't really made good decisions in the past. However, the rewrite, it's all looking really good. Potential. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this topic. I just thought, why not make a video? I want to make a video, and there hasn't been that much information on new stuff for the rewrite lately, so I haven't really been able to make a good video coming on here. Apart from this is a decent video, I think. Not really. Please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.